Okay, we're good. Hello, how are you? My name is Matthew. You are in the moment, 11:30, late night. Here we are on this 18th day, the final 30 minutes of the day, this Monday in August 2025. Listen, I've made some notes. I was in here last Monday. Anyone who has followed this live stream knows that this is therapy for me. So yes, 11:30 at night. I don't expect a lot of live views. And whoever watches the show at their leisure, I appreciate that. I don't know. I know people that follow, but I don't necessarily know who is watching. So if you're watching this live, hello. Just a few notes, and then I'll continue on with my night. This is why I absolutely love my work schedule, Monday to Friday, 3 in the afternoon till 11 at night. So I could sleep till noon. Very rare that I do, but I could sleep that late and still not be late for work. So love the schedule, which allows me to just pop in here real quick and just kind of let you know what's going on in my life. Maybe what I'm about to talk about is relatable to you. That's kind of the whole thing of this live stream. So hello, how are you? Andrew, hello. So I just want to quickly talk about the weather. The weather moving forward for the rest of the week until at least Saturday looks mainly sunny. The temperatures have dropped a little bit. We're still looking at temperatures in the low to mid 20s for the rest of the week, which is good news. Good news for people that are living outside. I'm going to talk a bit more about that. Well, let's get right into that because we did get some rain, but not nearly enough, not a significant amount of rain to help deal with the current wildfire situation that we have going on here in the province. I know a lot of people are following the story out in Annapolis Valley, Long Lake. I was on the website earlier, and I think it said there were 6 active wildfires right now. I'm sure there are different sources, but hopefully we all come to the same conclusion that the number of wildfires here in Nova Scotia, is it on the low side? I don't know. This is, it's new for all of us, tracking wildfires. We know that the province has put a ban in place. You're not allowed into the woods till probably October, unless we get significant rain. I think that was the time frame that has been put out there. But I was cruising through the internet tonight, and I actually was interested. I was searching the story because I know that there are talks to eventually close down the designated encampment at the Cogswell Park off of Quinpool and Windsor. So I was Googling that because I wanted to know, I know there is a study or some type of involvement with various people to try and figure out what to do with that encampment. I know they're probably going to close it. So I was doing some research on that, but what came up was a story that you can see for yourself. It was on tonight's CBC News in Halifax. Taryn Grant was the reporter in this story. But the whole gist of the story, because no one is allowed into the woods, or you could face a $25,000 fine, there's an encampment here in the Halifax Regional Municipality in the southern part of the peninsula, Lower Flynn Park, multiple residents, and that entire encampment is in the woods. And there are other people scattered across the province that are tenting in the woods. So the story was who is involved and what is happening, trying to relocate those individuals who are in the woods into other accommodations, i.e. a shelter. And some have gone to shelters, but the majority of people are resisting to go. I don't think they're resisting. I know, because I've talked to enough of the people out on the street, nobody wants to go to a shelter. That's a really hard sell to an unhoused person who has all their belongings and their whole life in a tent on this little piece of land. They're not going to walk away from that. So there's lots of people that are living in the woods, living rough in the woods. And if the powers that be really thought it was extremely dangerous, and if they really, really cared for the people that are currently in the woods, they would all have been removed in much better accommodations, plain and simple. Instead, now, you can see the story. You can see the story on what they are telling the public that they're doing, and maybe they're doing it to a certain degree. But I spoke with an individual today who was at Lower Flynn Park, and I ran the story by them. They have been approached by outreach workers to see if they needed anything from Walmart. And I know a bunch of the encampments were all given, that each resident was given a 5-gallon or like a silver bucket, a metal silver bucket to put their cigarette butts in. Think about that. You're giving something shiny that can get really hot to people that are already in the woods. Again, just a complete waste of taxpayers' money. But they've been doing that for years and years and years. So go search the story for yourself. It was on the CBC News. I find it laughable. I just find it laughable every time there is a crisis. These people are always in crisis. These people are always in a desperate need to get out of the elements and into four walls. They don't need your emergency. They don't need Mother Nature's emergency. It could be a potential, if a fire caught down in that encampment, it would be devastating. It would be absolutely devastating. But let's not get all worked up for a few months because of a fire danger. The danger is other people out on the street. So let's collectively, my goodness, I've been seeing people on the street since I was 8 or 9 years old, since the late 80s. Here we are in 2025. You'll be really hard to convince me that we are truly doing everything that we can to get people off the street. We're just not. And I'll just leave that there. Again, that's just my opinion. I just find all these political talking heads, yap, 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 meow, 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 meow. That's all they do. You listen to the story, some people didn't even want to come on camera and talk about this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just going to jump ahead to things that I've seen. Speaking of, just the deplorable actions that are being put forward, trying to, just another Band-Aid. People are just being pushed to the brink, and we have other Haligonians who have everything that are bullying and threatening the unhoused. And to that meathead, that is doing that, karma will find you. Karma will find you. And that's just a little side note. I might mention it again. Things that I've seen in the last week. You won't believe what I've seen. Just literally walking from my place on Barrington into the city, maybe down to Point Pleasant Park, but never leaving the peninsula. Everything that I see and hear is right here on the peninsula, and it can be quite disturbing. Just a few more notes here. Some random stuff here. Some numbers. Tonight's draw. Here it is, 20 to 12. There is a Powerball draw this evening. There's a Powerball draw this evening in the United States with a $600 million. That's the prize. $600 million for Powerball tonight in the United States. The biggest jackpot goes back to 2022, where a man or an individual, I don't know if it was a man, but someone from California, won the record of $2.1 billion. Keeping with numbers, this is a little bit disturbing. Again, just cruising through the internet tonight. 28 individuals have already been executed in the United States this year. There was a story came up. An individual is set to be executed in September. There's a couple this month, but again, 28 individuals have already been executed in the United States this year. That's wild. Going to change lanes and just go in a completely different direction and get away from that crazy nonsense. If you want to take a break, if you want to have a fun, nostalgic trip down memory lane type of evening, I suggest that you find the network that is carrying the 2025 Little League World Series. The reason I say that, Team Canada, which is being represented by a team in Vancouver. Canada will play Aruba, Canada in an elimination game. Find that game tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Atlantic. Great ball game. Little League World Series, Canada, Aruba, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Find the network that is carrying that. It's a great escape from the craziness that we're all experiencing as adults. It's just a trip back in time. Really great for anyone that's played hardball. I played hardball. I never had the talent, obviously, to make it to play for Team Canada, but I did have a lot of fun when I did play. Okay, going to close this out real quick. We're at 11:41, 11 minutes into the broadcast. Going to close it out with something that I've just called What I've Seen, and everything that I've seen goes into my phone notes. Okay, just something completely different. Okay, let's get into this. What I have seen since last Monday night, I can tell you with absolute certainty that there is a particular individual that walks the streets of Halifax and is incredibly dangerous and unpredictable. And every time I see him, I just think, I just wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of this particular individual. I see them almost daily. Every time I go into the city, I will see them, and I know because I have had interactions with them. I know people that have had dangerous and violent altercations with this particular individual. Yes, he's been incarcerated. Yes, of course, he's been to jail multiple times, but he walks the streets of Halifax as of right now. No doubt about it. I've said before that I always make the most out of every encounter that I have with individuals. Doesn't matter if they're unhoused. Doesn't matter how long I've gone without seeing them. I love interacting with people, even if it's just a quick hello or if it's like an in-depth conversation. The other day I was walking down Spring Garden Road. I saw just the most beautiful, tiny little human that I always have interactions with. I haven't seen them in months and months and months, and I've been thinking about them. Boom, there they are on Spring Garden Road. So just a quick interaction, and then later on that day, who do I see? Clarence, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I saw Clarence again. This was really rather disturbing. This was last Wednesday afternoon, about 12:30. I'm up on Gottingen and North, right there at the intersection, and I see this elderly man. He's on the sidewalk, and he's walking towards me, and he's got a walker, and he's having a struggle. He is struggling with the walker, and he manages to get up on the corner of North and Gottingen, and the next thing I know, as I'm crossing the street, I now realize that this individual has parked his walker, and he is having a really difficult time walking out into traffic with a cup in his hand. It was one of the most dangerous things I've ever seen at an intersection. We have an elderly, this guy had to have been late 70s, easily late 70s, staggering, knees buckled, walking through traffic with a cup looking for change. That's what I see. I've told you before that I have many people in my private messages that stay in touch with me, and if I see one of their loved ones on the street, I let them know. That happened the other day. An individual that I know from Grand Parade Square, haven't seen them in many, many months. I saw them the other day in the city, very close to where I work. So I let their mother know, and the mother got back to me and kind of filled in the blanks. And just not a good situation. Just not a good situation. Again, There's people on the street that just literally need to be picked up and put into care. I know they have to want to go, and I know there are people that do want to go, but I just don't think the services are just readily available. I talked about the meathead bullying, the unhoused. Karma will get you. Just, my God, the last thing they need is to be kicked around while society is kicking them around. Like, just an entitled meathead. That's what you are. I'll just close it out with this. Here we are approaching midnight, and I can guarantee you that if you were, I'd love to see a counselor. I'd love to see a counselor and their TikTok account or their Instagram account having a stroll through the city tonight and counting how many people that they can visibly see sleeping outside tonight. Because I can probably list off a dozen places. Actually, I'll put it in the comment section. What I'm going to do after this show is I'm going to tell you all the places that I've seen people sleeping just within the last month. And some of the places may surprise you, some of them may not. But I have seen people sleeping all over Hell's Half Acre. And the number of people doing so has doubled. In the last 2 years, the number of people on the street has doubled. Like, what is, I was talking with Jen about this earlier, like, what is the root cause? Like, who is to blame? Like, we got to share the blame, but there has to be some data. Like, I need to see the information that tells me and tells us exactly why the number of people currently out on the street here in the HRM has doubled. Or maybe that's province-wide. But why is that? Reno evictions, can't keep up with the bills, getting away from domestic violence, being released from foster care, being released from the hospital, losing your home. There's half a dozen reasons right there. We really need to right the ship here. I get a cat that's in the other room. You can probably hear them meowing. I think that's my cue to end the show. Those are my notes. I'll leave you with this. Again, if you want to go back and just relive a more carefree time frame in your life, even if you're not into sports, if you just love the joy of watching kids play baseball and have fun, just from all over the United States, from all over the world. It's the Little League World Series. Canada plays tomorrow night. It's a elimination game. Moving forward for Canada, they lose, they're done. They play Aruba tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Find the network that is carrying that and check it out. Okay, Tora saying shut her down. Approaching midnight. Just know as you watch this with your phone, you can charge it later. Probably go to the fridge and grab something cold, make yourself something to eat, have a shower, use the washroom, brush your teeth, and do everything in the light. Just know that there are thousands of Nova Scotians who are not doing any of that tonight. Instead, they are sleeping, literally sleeping with the rats, and an extremely dangerous condition, being out in the woods. But luckily, just luckily, the unhoused who are in the woods, defying this province-wide ban to stay out of the woods, luckily none of them have been fined the $25,000. How laughable would that be? I just noticed the light went out. Okay, that's going to do it for me. My name is Matthew, and you are currently